Alright folks, we're back, and today we're checking out the Monster Open Ear AC210. Let's do this. Hi there folks, and welcome back to Novum Verum. Today we have the Monster Open Ear AC210, and the AC stands for air conduction. Now, obviously it's been quite some time since I've reviewed anything, including Monster products, but this being the latest product I've tested from Monster, I have to say that the packaging I find rather lacking. I mean, there's still the heat seal, which I always appreciate, but the box itself isn't as solid as they used to be. Maybe it's just, cost saving measures from the manufacturer, but yeah, I find it kind of odd. Anyhow, I am enjoying this new darker gray tones that they're using here, which is awesome. But anyways, let's go ahead and crack this baby open, shall we? Now, what I mean by the packaging, finding it lacking. It's not as substantial as previous Monster products I've tested. Definitely a lot thinner. The cardboard itself, the box itself, a lot more flimsier. But let's see what it looks like inside. Very simple. And let's set this aside and see what else is in here. Just a USB Type-C charging cable, a quick start guide, and the limited warranty. So not a whole lot going on in there. So let's take a look at this. Now this is extremely light, so I doubt this is wireless charging. And again, there's just, it just doesn't feel like the same quality as my other Monster products. Then again, there were a few other Monster products I've tested out before that didn't really live up to the expectations, but there it is, folks. I was actually looking for all the legal stuff, so it's actually on here, on the back here, but because of this very shiny surface, you can't really see it there. But let's see. Oh, again, usually from experience, they'd have like a sticker on this so that they wouldn't be charging during transport, but they are. As you guys can see, it's trying to pair up, I'm guessing. Now, this is not bend, it's not one of those that you can bend, it stays in the shape that you bend it at. It just swings back up. So more like a spring. Alrighty. Well, that's pretty much all there is to this. Now, I've tried bone conducting headphones before. I've never tried air conduction, so definitely looking forward to testing these out. So I'm going to finish getting this charged up, connect it to my phone, and we will take it for a test drive. Folks, I'll be right back. Thanks.
All right, folks, here we are, finally doing an audio test after quite some time. Of course, this test is for the Monster Open Ear AC210, which I have on, as you guys can see. And of course, the audio here right now is being picked up through the microphones on these. Now, I purchased these mid-September. I received them on September 17th, and I did the unboxing the following day, charged them up overnight, and from then on, I've been taking them to work with me for every single shift. A solid 3 weeks worth of time with these, and these have been useful and adequate. I think that's the best way for me to say this. Sound quality is not the greatest by far. These are open ear, so they're basically little speakers that hang just outside of your ear canal. So there's no seal that you get from over ear headphones or in ear earbuds. The bass is practically non-existent. It's dumpy, not thumpy. Also, highs, mids, and lows. They're not necessarily muddy, but they're not very clear. The best comparison I can make is that the listening experience is very similar to listening to AM and FM radio in my car. Just not a whole lot of clarity or detail. You can still, hear the host and understand what they're saying. You can hear the lyrics, all that good stuff. But unfortunately, you just can't pick out, different instruments in the music and whatnot. So for audiophiles, wouldn't even come close. These fall very, very short. These are actually one of the worst monster products I've tested. Um, Maybe not as bad as I believe the Enlight Clear Talk. I think that one was really bad, but these are at least a close second to that. Don't get me wrong, there are some uses for this. Uh, in my case, in particular, my workplace doesn't allow for in-ear earbuds or over-ear headphones for safety reasons. They want us to be aware of what's going on around us at all times, and of course, in-ear earbuds and over-ear headphones would impede that. So most people use bone conduction headsets. Other people use Bluetooth speakers. Some people use open ear earbuds just like these. So I'm more than happy to comply with that. So there are use cases for these. Unfortunately, for those who want to enjoy their music, these are not it. I also had an opportunity to use these while watching movies on my computer and whatnot. And unfortunately, because you can't really get deep bass from these, I could not get that immersive experience that I'm always looking for while watching movies. Playing games, there is a noticeable lag. And again, if I'm trying to listen to certain aspects of the game, unfortunately, these fall short. There are a few other things I'd like to discuss, which we'll talk about when we step outside and do the outdoor portion of this test. So here we go. Turn you guys around. Bump. Ooh, almost fell over. Let me try to straighten this out. There we go. And stepping out. Ah, all right. So, call quality. Good. Call quality. Can't even talk right now. Um, Indoors in an enclosed space, in a quiet area, these work perfectly fine. The microphones work well and pick up my voice really well. But unfortunately, when you're in a noisy environment, outdoors and it's windy and whatnot, uh, other noises will definitely drown you out. I've had to repeat myself a few times. People asking me what's going on, where am I, because they can hear what's going on around me. And it's just noise at their end. They don't necessarily can tell if it's like a car honking or anything like that. It's just blaring noise. So again, these microphones will pick up everything. I don't believe there's any sort of voice isolating technology in the microphones on these. So yeah, again, in an enclosed space, these work well, but outdoors or in a noisy environment, call quality suffers greatly. Connectivity is decent. I can actually get a good distance away from my connected device. However, it has to be clear line of sight. I left my phone in my room on my desk, as I usually do, and then I'll walk out of my room, close the door behind me, and then walk downstairs to the kitchen. However, I didn't even get that far. As soon as I close the door behind me, the connection starts to drop. Became very intermittent, not get a solid connection, even while I'm just standing outside of my bedroom door. So, unfortunately, connectivity not the greatest unless you have clear line of sight or you're in very close proximity to your connected device. Now, one of the biggest issues I have with these, and it happened in just such a short period of time, it, it was such a disappointment, and that is the battery life. When I first got these, for the first 2 weeks of me using these, they would last me my entire shift. We're talking about 8 to 10 hours uh, back and forth from home to work and whatnot, and they lasted me, had no issues whatsoever. But this past week, I noticed that it progressively got lower, the battery life, I mean. So I would say they would last about 6 to 7 hours, and then all of a sudden it was 5 to 6 hours, and then it was just 5 hours at most. And then my battery would die, and I'd have to pop them into the case, charge them up for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'd have a good 45 minutes after that. So over time, in a short period of time, the battery life of these has already deteriorated, which is unheard of. At least from my experience, I have never had a product lose that much power or capacity in such a short period of time. Um, Another thing that I want to mention, but it's more of a personal preference, is the change that they made with the notifications. So in previous Monster products I've tested, there's this little female voice that tells you power on, power off, connected, disconnected, low battery. With these models, they switched to a little tone or a chime or whatever you want to call it. It's a little beep, and I wasn't familiar what each tone was signifying. So when the first time I started getting low battery, I did not know those tones were indicating that. So I just thought I was getting text on my phone and didn't bother uh, taking a look at the battery life. And lo and behold, after 6 7 hours, they just died out on me. Very disappointed. So once I recognized what those tones were about, I would immediately, as soon as I heard them, take these off, put them in the case, charge them up for a little while, and I'm good to go for a few more minutes. I still prefer that little voice telling me what's going on. Again, personal preference, and I did get used to these tones after a while, but yeah, I don't really care for it. Anyhow, my hands are cold. I'm gonna head home, check my audio, and be back with my postmortem. Thanks, guys. See you in a moment.
All right, folks, it's postmortem time for the Monster Open Ear AC210. I think we all know it's going to be a pass for me for all the reasons. Now, sound quality is at best mediocre. You are not going to get great clarity out of these, and the bass is very, very poor. Call quality indoors in a quiet environment, I think these worked well. However, once you introduce background sound, loud noises, these perform poorly. Connectivity within close proximity to your connected device or even with clear line of sight at a distance, these worked very well. However, as soon as you introduce any sort of obstruction, like a door, the connection becomes intermittent and on occasion you do get dropped. And lastly is the battery life. Out of all of the products I've tested, even ones that are now 4 years old, on a single charge they would last me a very long time. 7 to 8 hours on my worst product. Now, these lasted me 8 to 10 hours at the beginning, and now they last no more than 5 hours before the battery has been drained to 20%, 15%, and that's when I start getting the notifications. On top of that, when I pop them into the case and charge them for 10 to 15 minutes, they would only last an extra 45, 50 minutes at most. With other products, including other Monster products, they would last me a good hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, in the same amount of time as they charge in the case. So overall, these are not great. And now we come to the price. These came out this summer of 2024 on the Amazon Canada marketplace. Regular price, even now, is $149.99. Thankfully, I did not purchase it at that price. There was a massive promotion going on. I think it was 73% off, plus an additional coupon. And I was able to buy these at $39.99 Canadian. With taxes, I believe I paid $45.07. At that price point, it's very approachable. However, if you're looking for better sound quality, there are a lot of other products out there that can provide you that, including other Monster products. And that's a wrap, folks. My first review in 18 months, finally done. Thank you all so much for watching. I do hope I will be able to continue doing these reviews on a more consistent basis now that there's a little bit more regularity in my life schedule. I already have a couple of products in line, including one that I have from last year that I think is still relevant. I just need to finish it for you all and post it as quickly as possible. Now, when it comes to my giveaway, I do intend to keep my promise. For every 100 subscribers that I get on my channel, I will be choosing a random subscriber and sending them an Amazon gift card. So I do have one ready to give away. I will be picking someone randomly as soon as possible and posting it for you all. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.